hi, Sophia. Blanche. Rose. Miss Dorothy. The Golden Girls. Hi guys, welcome back to DNA Farms. Danielle here, and today's episode or video, whatever you want to call it, I have wanted to do for a very long time. As you can hear, I have my lovely ladies behind me, my Golden Girls, and they're my backyard flock and the boyfriend's backyard flock. And you know, if you've seen the past videos, we are getting eggs, we are loving still having our chickens, but I thought it would be really great to do a how much does it cost to really get started with and keep a backyard flock. And as you know, I only have the 4 girls, and so these costs are going to be associated with the 4 girls, but I think it might be a little surprising how much that first egg really ends up costing you. So let's take a look at some of the tools that you may need, some of the equipment that you're going to need in order to keep these girls happy and healthy. Okay, so what is one of the first things you're obviously going to need when starting your own backyard flock? Chicks, of course. So some folks choose baby chicks, like we did. Other folks choose a little bit older pullets, and some choose pullets that are already egg laying. Depending on which you choose will increase or decrease the cost. Egg laying chicks, or pullets that are already egg laying, are going to cost you more because you haven't had to do the startup cost of raising them, getting them through those kind of early stages where there's a higher chance of them not thriving. If you go down and do a pullet that's not egg laying yet, but is only a few weeks, maybe to a month or so off from that, they will be cheaper. But if you start with baby chicks, they are the cheapest. Each of our chicks cost us $4 each at our local Tractor and Supply. So we spent a total of $16 on our 4 chicks. You'll have to decide what works best for you. The trade-off is you are getting baby chicks that need and depend on you for everything. So you have to be prepared and have some other equipment that you're going to need. And that will be the next thing we look at. So once you have these baby chicks, there are some really key things that you need to help them so that their first couple of weeks of life, they will have a much higher chance of surviving and thriving. You need something to put them in. I did a lot of research before getting our chicks, and everyone has something that they find the best. Some people use a large dog crate that they then wrap around the side so that the baby chicks can't get through the wires. I have seen people use playpins, like reuse their child's playpen. We went with just the traditional large metal tub that's like a trough. That was high enough. It was 2 feet high, 4 feet wide. That gave our baby chicks plenty of room to grow. And if you follow the videos, you know they stayed in that until they were 7 weeks old. So that brooder was about $99. But it's reusable, and so it's something in the future we can reuse again. We started off with a tub that we created, but unfortunately they were just outgrowing it way too quickly the first 2 or 3 days here, because besides the brooder, we also had to put a few things in. Baby chicks have to have temperature regulation. So again, if you've seen a lot of the videos, I talked about how they needed about that 100-degree mark, and then every week we would decrease it by 5 degrees. We chose, instead of using a heating lamp, because I was a little nervous about fire hazard, the heating plate. That heating plate, again reusable, but was a $40 charge to get started. So between the brooder, and the heater, we're already in the $150. Then you add the baby chicks for another $16, so we're already up to $166 just for those three things. So now you have your baby chicks, you have something you're keeping them in. Obviously you're going to need some type of filler within that brooder. We used pine shavings, it's what worked for us. Other folks have used a different type of shaving. The one thing, again, just to stay away from the cedar. That hay was a huge bale that we got for about $5. I think that first pack lasted us just about 3 months. Now we go through maybe a pack every month and a half in the colder months, and then I can stretch it out in the summer months because they don't need as much of the bedding in their coop. So just plan on at least getting that first pack, going to cost you between that $5 and $8 depending on what you'd like to use. In addition, they need something for food and water. Now, if you get them at the day-old chicks or you hatch yourself, you are going to need to really consider what type of waters you provide. If you watched any of my first videos, we talked about using a small enough water so that they could get their beaks in, but they could not drown, because baby chicks are known to get stuck and fall asleep or get tired and can drown themselves. So we bought different size waters to get through those first couple of weeks. Then we have now our large 2-gallon water that our girls are able to drink from every day. So look at about spending between $10 to $20 on your waterers, depending on what size your chicks are. The same kind of goes with the feeder. They have different sizes depending on how many you have in your flock and their age. So again, there is another $10 to $20 expense for the feeders. So another important thing that the chicks will need, whether you're getting baby chicks or older, is some kind of feed. The first bag of feed we got was 50 pounds, and it was just about $20. And chicks will eat a lot at the beginning. They will also waste a lot at the beginning, so be prepared for that, because they will spill it all over the floor or at the bottom of their brooder. So just be prepared that you will need a bag of chick starter if you're getting with baby chicks, and if not, you'll get egg layer feed, etc. Just know that you will continue to need that feed. Our 4 girls go through, I think, about a 50-pound bag, maybe once every month and a half or so. Just really depends. We also include grit in ours, so that is another expense between $5 to $10. The grit is to help break down the food in their crop. So that's another important addition if you're not free ranging, which our girls cannot because of where we live. So that's important to remember, that they will need some food. It's also important, especially if you're getting baby chicks or if you're going to be in a hot climate, to have electrolytes, which can be added to their water and or probiotic. Their body is just getting used to things like dirt and food, and they are susceptible to coccidiosis. So it's better to have some probiotics and electrolytes on hand. You can usually get that a couple of dollars, maybe $4 to $8, depending on the size you get. So just remember, that's another expense to be prepared for. Okay, so if you're just starting a backyard flock, you've got your brooder, you've got your chicks, you're getting them through, but eventually they start to grow up and it's time for them to go outside. Now, this is where a lot of the cost really can start to get expensive. Again, there are different folks that have done different things. I have seen some people build coops from pallets, old wood that they've had, etc. But if you are someone like me or the boyfriend and that's not your jam, you're going to need some kind of coop to put these in. If you have an old shed that you can convert, great. If not, you're gonna have to buy something. We bought the Cumberland Cottage coop from our local Tractor and Supply store and put it together ourselves. It said that it was good for 6 to 8 birds. Once put together, we totally disagreed. Our 4 ladies fit comfortably in there, but that coop was $350. See if you can find a sale at certain times of the year, or redeem some of those points on different programs that your local farm and feed store may have. Now, besides a coop, because we're not free ranging, the girls, like we talked about, need some kind of run area. So we purchased a 10 by 13, which gives 130 square feet. It's a good to remember that each bird needs about 10 square feet per bird for the run area. So we have plenty of room, but that again was another expense. So that was about $300, and we had to build all of it. It came in all pieces, rolling the wire out and everything. So just the coop and the run area alone was a $650 expense. That was where the largest chunk of our money went towards creating this backyard flock. The best news is the run is something that we can continue to use. I am not 100% sure, can say confidently that the coop will be something you can use year over year over year. It is not as well craftsmanship as something you may spend $1,000 on. I have seen coops go all the way up to $5,000+. So that is just something to keep in mind when you're starting your backyard flock. You obviously want the girls to be comfortable, you want them to be secure from predators, and to be able to survive in both heat and winter. So it's something to think about. Okay, once you have your coop set up and your run area set up, and it's the girls are living outside full time, one of the things I personally didn't realize was how much extra things there were. You have these 50-pound bags of feed, and you need to put that feed into something. We chose to get something that would be moisture proof and rodent proof or insect proof with ants and such. That costs about $30, but it holds 60 pounds of feed, so it's perfect. And it keeps everything protected. I've had no issues with anything trying to get in there yet, and the food has never been moldy or nasty. In addition, there's also all these like little extra things like DE, if you're gonna sprinkle that to help keep pests and lice and mites off your girls. You know, just be prepared to spend about $10 for a bag full of that. We also use Sweet PDZ in the coop, which just helps with collecting moisture and urine smell. I think that was about a $10 bag as well. And then in addition, you have all these other like little supplies, cleaning supplies for cleaning the coop, scrapers, or the little tongs that we use to clean the coop out every day. Just know that all of those kinds of things, you're looking at another $20 to $30 worth of supplies. Now, because you have all these things, I found the need to really have some kind of storage unit to hold all these things in. I kind of like having, you know, that saying there's a place for everything and everything has its place. Well, that's me. So I bought another larger bin that will allow us to hold all these supplies, and I think we spent about $100 on that bin. It's actually a pool supply bin, but it worked perfectly. It sits right outside the coop. All the supplies I need are right next to where the girls are. And then just know that there is these miscellaneous costs, things like tarps and rope and little toys and trinkets and things you want to put in the coop as well. So there's, I would say, kind of averaging about an additional $200. Once the girls start laying, you're gonna maybe need to get some egg cartons or oyster shell to make sure that they have enough calcium and the eggs are really strong. I just kind of averaged in about $200 because I know there's some ins and odds and ends that I maybe haven't included in this video specifically, but I promise you you will eventually see that, yep, that's a little more than I thought I was spending. So if we look at our grand total, we are a little over $1,300 in getting this backyard flock started. From the time we got the girls at the first week of July, and we are now in the second week of December. So just in that, 6-month time frame, expect that first couple of months to cost a little bit more. As the time goes on, we're not spending that kind of cost every month. It's just things like food and straw and some hay for inside the coop. Hopefully then by that time the girls are laying eggs and you're starting to save money on that, and some folks sell those eggs to make money. So yeah, the chickens are maybe not as cheap as you first expect they are to be, but ours, again, as I've said in pretty much every video, are not just for something to try to make a profit off of. Instead, they are our golden girls, our pets. Enjoying these videos? If so, feel free to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thanks.